Hello gamers, Matt Lemke here with another episode of Figure Forge. Today's episode of Figure Forge, we're going to put together the Skaven Screaming Bell and Plague Furnace. At least we're going to try and make it so you can use both models out of one model. Get out of the way. I've already taken the time to go ahead and clean up the models, or the pieces of the models. There's only about 7 steps to this kit, so it's a pretty easy kit to put together. Step 1 uses these pieces, which is piece 5, 3, 7 and 6, or vice versa. Actually, 7, 6, and 1. Get that glue ready. I'm going to start up here. There's no real rhyme or reason to where they start. Put some glue on this bad boy. Put it to the inside a little bit. No need to have excess glue on the seam. And I'll put some on this model too. Hold that in place a little bit. While I'm holding it in place, I'm going to kind of play around and see where these pieces go. The points, I don't know if you can see the points or not, go up on this model, and it looks like they only fit one way, so you're going to be in luck with that. And as soon as this dries, we'll be able to go on. I'm holding it together right now. I wish I had a rubber band. And make sure that you don't do what I about did there. See, that's the wrong side. Actually, it goes on this side. And, well, it looks like, I guess it doesn't matter. It almost looks like you want to put these pieces on first. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You've got these 2 little peg brackets. They go to the bottom and the front of the model. And the front is this part here with the little hook. These flat, spiky parts are to the rear of the model. So, put that glue in the female end, and then I will put this little X brace into place. And that is a tight fit. I probably didn't need glue. That is a real tight fit. In fact, it's so tight, I don't know if I'm going to get it apart. And it needs to be tightened. So, when you put this together at home, make sure that you don't do what I just did. Because the little thorns on this thing make it so you don't want to have to pull it apart, and I am not going to be able to pull it apart. So the rest of my model is probably going to be out of square. And I just lost it. That's okay. I'm coming back to that piece. Be very careful if you do this. I'm not going to do that. I'll break that rope. I just put my finger in glue. Go back to putting this back together. I'm going to wait to do this piece till last. It's on the outside. I don't need to worry about that. Now, learning. Are the sides different? The sides are different. This piece has... Whoa. Capture device has some lag. This piece has spikes on it. They go to the top, pointing down. And look at that. I don't think I'm going to glue that because I'm sure that it's going to go to the other side and get glued. And then this piece goes in here, just like that. Boom. I'm not even sure you need to glue that piece. This piece certainly needs some glue. That should be more than enough glue for it. Now I'm going to set that all aside and let that dry, and we're going to go on to phase 2, which is the other side of the cart, which is really pretty simple. It's 2 pieces. Some more glue. Pop that bad boy on there. Kind of can't get this wrong. There's even little nubby spots for the ropes if you want to take the time to glue them. This piece is a little bit warped, so I'm going to put a little bit more glue right here at the top. And the bell hole. And I'm going to reach off camera, and no, I'm not. I can't see it. This is where clamps come in really handy. So for now, I'm just going to set it off screen, lay my pliers on top of it, to hold it together. And it's doing a great job. There's only one problem with that. I'm supposed to put them together. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. Line up the holes. As best you can, I guess. A little bit more dexterity than a... Must be backwards. Oh yeah, it was backwards. Don't do that. See how easy that goes in? Once it's at the right location. Wow. How beautiful. This is almost a glueless model. I'm going to nip that a little bit because I can. I can't. So when you do this at home, actually I'll have to make a note of it. When you do this at home, make sure that you take just a hair off these pegs, because they don't quite fit perfectly. You have to have small fingers to make sure everything gets into the right holes. cart is assembled. And you know what? You don't need glue for the most part. Which, that might be good in the future. All in all, it's a pretty good model. I'm impressed so far. Good bit of detail. On to step 3, which is another really simple step, if I remember correctly. Step 3 is the wheels. Now, this is kind of interesting because you've really got 2 sets of wheels. Sort of. It actually makes a difference as to where they go. That's one set. And this is the other set. The big wheel goes in the middle, probably because it's higher. And then you have the small wheel in the rear of the cart, and the medium-sized wheel goes to the front of the cart. You're not going to get away without gluing these unless you're really good at pinning and putting little screws in, and then you can have a rolling cart. I thought about doing that today, but I don't have that kind of patience today. So you're going to go like this, and I don't think it, I mean, obviously in the picture they've got certain wheels on certain sides, but it's not going to matter that much. If you follow exactly how they do it in the picture, you've got this set of wheels goes on this side. Nope, I lied. Goes on this side where you have the single bell. There's a single bell on this side, and there's two bells on this side. And the wheels with the holes and the strap, the 2 straps that go all the way across, go on that side of the cart. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. Keeping in mind that this is the back and this is the front. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull this up so it's partially off screen. Line up the wheels like that. Put some glue on them. Put them in place. That looks pretty tight. Ta-da! One side of the cart done. Now, looking at that, maybe I should have painted that. Maybe I shouldn't have. There's good news and there's bad news to this. It's for rats. Not necessarily the cleanest things. So you can do a lot of things to cover up your bad paint job when you have to get your brush in there, like mud. And I mean real mud. I'm going to go dip mine in the mud. And I am not joking. And then I'm going to seal it with some lacquer. And that should work. Now, again, I flipped it over. So this is the front of the cart. So that gets the medium wheel. Big wheel goes in the middle. And small wheel goes on the end. And I got glue on my finger. Darn it. Now you've got a cart with wheels. Oh wait, carts don't make those noises. The rats in front of them probably squeak though. And then we go to the next portion, which is really not that difficult again. We're going to be working on the front of the cart with these pieces. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm already missing pieces. That's what happens when you cut them apart and set them aside and drop the bags. So I'm not going to have the full effect. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these in here first. It's important to note that these spikes do go down. So I'm going to put it upside down to me. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to put anything on the end. Actually, I'm just going to put some glue in these slots because that's where those blades go. And I'm not even going to use them all, I don't think, because I don't have to. Stick that in there. Stick that in there. I want this one. I like this one. Grab my little pliers. Push that down there a little bit. That one doesn't want to fit. Try it in the other one. Fits better in that one, so we'll use it there. And then we have to try it and get this in there. My fingers are too big to get between those blades. Set that off screen, let that dry. Bring this section in here. I'm probably going to save this blade and actually use it for a Dark Eldar. Now, I'm going to guess that I want to put this piece on first. This piece glues on here, like that. Which actually is a pain in the butt. Makes me wish I didn't put those blades on yet, because it doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? So, it doesn't snap on there as nicely as I would like it to. So real quick, I'm just going to take my knife. I'm going to make it fit. This is all going to be hidden anyway. It almost fits. More knife skills. Check it again. Got to work on this side a little bit. And now I have a fit. So I'll put some glue on here. This piece actually has a series of runes on one side. That series of runes goes to the front. It rests back on this cross brace here. There's two little ledges down here that you can't see in the light. Oh, there's one of them right there at the tip of my blade. So you put this in here like this, and it rests right there on top. I am going to go ahead and not glue that piece at the moment, because if I do glue that piece, there is no way I will ever get the inside of this model painted. Not a chance. So I'm just going to set that in there and set it down there. and set this aside and go to step 5, which is the arches. Pretty simple step, I would think. They're pretty tough to find. I mean, you've got pieces 19 or 17 through 20. Ooh. And they only go together one way, so I mean, they're really, really tough. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the glue in here on this little notch. This pin down here. Glue in here on this notch. And this pin down here. And just for good measure, I'm going to put a little bit on a couple more key spots, I think. Not a lot, just enough to help it bond. And you go like that. And you grab the other piece, push it together. And that's that. You set those aside. Now we start getting into the parts that are model specific. This is the Screaming Bell crew assembly, which has probably the most complicated section on it. It's got more pieces than any other part. You have the ogre head, you have horns, you have the body, you have a handle piece that he uses to kind of like swing on the bell, and you have a fist for the ogre, you have the seer's head, and the goat horns. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to separate these out. We're going to start with the seer. And we're going to do this kind of piecemeal. I need to clean this off just a little bit because I don't like that bird. The seer is actually pretty easy. He's got a nice peg and form fit. Just like that. And we're going to set them aside after that. Put some glue on that end, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go like this, sort of. As long as you don't glue your hands together, you're okay. Oh crap, he fell apart because I'm impatient. Now I'm going to move these pieces off screen, bring the ogre back. That is one ugly ogre head. Dude's blind. Can't see. It's covered up. I think the best place to start with the ogre is the main assembly of his body. See that hole? That's for his... I don't know what the heck that's for. Huh. That hole does not have a peg, so don't put excessive amounts of glue in it and expect it to be held. Put some glue. Put some glue. Put some glue. Put some glue. Da 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 da. Oh, helps if you put it on the right way. Squeeze them together for 10 or 15 seconds. Nice tight fit. Should I do that now? Be careful with his fist. Let's see. You have to hold him like this. His fist actually goes. Wow, that's bad. That's pretty bad, I think. Crap. I'll be right back. I lost my monitor. I can't. Hey, I'm back. And I'm on screen. Okay. This guy sits something like this. This fist best I can tell goes like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait and figure out where the fist needs to be when I put it on the model. I am, however, going to take the time to glue his head on right now because I can. Just like that. Then I'm going to send him off screen. I'm going to grab the sear again. Grab the pieces for the sear. We'll start with his head. Then we will oops. Oh, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. I did that backwards. I knew it looked funny. The horns go on first, people. The horns go on first. And I just put way too much glue on this guy. So I'm going to take a little bit of it off. All in all, when it's said and done, he's going to be a pretty cool model. While the horns are drying, I'm going to go over and work on his hand. Just a little dab of super glue. Flip him back over for this part. He's actually kind of tough to hold. So, if I knock him apart, don't be surprised. Da, 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 da. See, if he had a little peg, I could set him down, but he doesn't have a little peg. And I think he's doing a better job of sticking to me than himself. He is. He's doing a better job of sticking to me than himself. Why? Probably because he's tiny and plastic. Aha! Now it's time to try and put his head on without knocking anything else off. And this is actually going to prove to be a challenge, I think, because his head sits on nothingness. So we're going to put a little bit of glue in here. I'm going to grab this tiny little head and try and slide it into that slot without making it stick to me. And I managed to do it. Now I'm going to find some place for this little guy to dry. Okay. Next we have the plague furnace. Or at least some parts to the plague furnace. I already separated out the parts that are universal for both models. And I'll go over that in a second. I'm not even sure what all these parts are for. That looks like a little clan of rats. That's half of a rat, I think. Oh, maybe it's another seer. And some heads. So, we're going to start with the guy that looks like he's going to need some drying time. We're going to select all these off. We're going to grab these pieces. And hey, look at that. We're even going to finish nipping off the part that I left on there. Need that. Need that. This guy's just full of pieces. Holy cows. And he gets a little bell mouth. So the question is, where do you start? I'm going to guess we start on the back. Which would be this piece. Not the piece I had, but his tail's on this side, and he gets the flaming flask thingy. Probably full of plague. And it goes painfully on here somehow. I have not figured that out completely. Oh boy. This is definitely a model I should have painted first. Holy cows, that was a mistake. Doesn't fit very well either. Looks like the best place for the glue is right at the top of the model. So you know, this model is a pain in the butt. And I have a funny feeling I'm going to need to use some green stuff on it. But man, that is a tight, weird fit. I'm going to put this head in next. I'm actually going to put this head in while I'm doing it. Why? Because if I don't think I'm getting the head in there. Oh boy. I might not get the head in there anyway. Ta-da! The head's in there. I'm not sure how. Okay. Start over. second thought, I'm not starting with the back of this model. I'm starting with the head. Because if you don't, you won't get it in. Then I'm going to use zip kicker because I want to move on to the next part of this model, which is the fun part. That part goes like that. I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to fasten it. So I'm going to move to the other side first. And do that. And see if that makes more sense. And it kind of does. There's a lot of gaps in this fit. There's a couple places where it looks like they're cut to fit and they don't fit very well. So we're going to try those. It's going to stick now. And to the other side. Now I'm going to have fun because I really kind of can't hold this model. It looks like this is supposed to slide back in there underneath this other cape, portion of the cape. Cloak, whatever you want to call it, robe. What a mess. Well, I'm getting out the green stuff. That'll be another video. Man. Can I break this off? So, maybe they go together first. That's what you should do, people. At least that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and glue these together first. Otherwise, you may never get them to fit. Zip kick this side. Now that it's zip kicked, I have to be really quick with my attachment. Bam. Because that's dry. Now the hard part. Fitting the model to its garment. They are crazy if they think this is supposed to fit. They're nuts. There is no way that if you do this right, it fits. Almost. There we go. So, when you put it in, you're going to have to slide it and twist just a hair to make this fit right. And it's important that you note that this piece comes to this side of the guy's head. So I'm gonna put some glue in here, make this work real quick, set it aside, and work on the rest of the model. Slap some zip kicker in there. And I think that's one done dude. Now these guys. Grab these other guys. One of them's missing a head. We'll start there. It's always a good place to start, missing heads. Make sure you put it on the front of the model, not the back of the model like I just did. And then you've got these arms and pulleys and chains. The arms go on this end, or I should say the arm goes on that end. And the head fell off. And that's actually important that we have that drive before we go much further, because a lot of the stuff is going to come down here. All these hands attached to these rats in various places. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 points of contact on these 2 rats. And 2 points of contact on this rat, and I really don't see where his arm is. Oh, he's backwards. I guess that makes sense. So there's one point that comes in, and there's the other. So he's going to look like that. This guy's going to be a bear to paint, but such is life. I'm not painting it. Somebody else is. And then you flip it over. And the guy with the head apparently gets the bottom 2 hands. Oh no, it goes like this on the angle. So it goes, this guy's head, this rat's head goes between the 2 ropes, and this arm goes here, this arm goes here, this arm goes here, and this arm goes to this hand right there. That was not nearly as bad as I thought it was. However, this part fell off. Again, not a great fit. Oh, it's better than I thought. And yes, we need a little more glue. And push it here like this, push it up, and it comes up and it touches the cross rope here underneath the chain. Okay, now the super fun part, and aha, we have the bell, which is in a few pieces, and it's slightly complicated. Now I'm going to show you something real quick on the bell. Both these pieces, well, all three of these pieces are used on both the bell and the plague furnace. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to play around. Well, I'm going to put the bell together first, minus these pieces, and then I'm going to pause. I'm going to play around with it off screen, off camera, and try and figure out if we can magnetize it. So you got your bell. You've got your different pieces to the bell. These are actually all the parts that go up to the bell. And these are actually just parts that are used on the bell when it's used as the bell model. This is like a little cable. It's pretty simple to put together. Just like that. That piece is done. This piece goes over here on the bell, like that, which I'm going to leave off because I want to be able to, I want to be able to use these separately. Those pieces go right on top there, and if you don't glue them and you don't glue the whole model as you build it, you can pull it apart just enough to take the pieces in and out at home. That's the plan. So back to the bell. You got these pieces that aren't going to be super easy to do. You got the piece that goes right in the center of the bell. You've got this piece that attaches here like this. So we'll start there, because that looks like it's going to be the toughest piece to glue and the most delicate. Set that aside, let it dry, sort of. Put some glue on the bell. Put that in there. Have to put it all together. And there you have it. A bell. a broken bell. How's that for character? Hey, it helps if I do it. Keep it good. Yeah, I'm a cheater. That was zip kicker. And before we go on and play around figuring out how we're going to make both parts of the model work, we put together the furnace. The furnace is actually really simple. It's 2 whopping pieces. Well, if you count the pieces that are on both parts, it's about 5, but we're not counting those pieces right now. And that's it. That is the whole thing. All you gotta do is glue that together. Well, that's my thing. Let that dry. I'll be back in a little bit after I pause this, and we will continue with magnetizing. Well, gamers, I'm back and I figured it out. What I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to get this out of the way first. I'm going to glue 1/2 on one side. I'm going to glue 1/2 on the other side, which I already did. Then we'll go to the bell. We'll do the bell. Take the bell. Well, actually, before you can take the bell, I think that this chain, if you keep switching the model in and out, is going to break, because that's just about broke it. That's pretty flimsy material, as I just demonstrated. So I looked for about an hour and I can't find it. I've got copper wire around here, which I'm quite impressed that you can even see this piece at all that's in my hand. It has a lot to do with light, which reminds me, I didn't turn all my lights on. No wonder it seems dark. Hold on a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weave this in and out of the chain. Well, actually, on this one, I'm going to switch this to copper wire. I have copper around here, and I just like the idea of using copper better. So, for the demo, I'm just going to go like that. So, I can show you the assembly of all the parts. Then you take your bell. You put your bell in here. I'll move this out of the way real quick. Let's see here. There's a slot right there on the bell, and it's only on the one side. On the other side, it's just a couple scratches for this guy, the gray seer, to put his foot on, and his foot on the other one. He also slides on there like that. So you can glue that if you really want to. Then he goes in here. Slide that just apart a little bit. Squeeze it together. Oops. Helps if you have it in both holes. Now you might be like, huh, that's not so cool, but it gets better. Slide that on there like that. Put this piece of chain in that hole where it belongs. Wrap that tie wire right around there like that. And you have an interchangeable screaming bell. Yeah, you can adjust the wire on both of them. I'm not adjusting this wire. If this was my model, I would set it up that all I have to do is fold that piece there. All that I have to do is unfold that piece there with a knife or something. And then you take it off. Take him off. Pop this off. Take this piece out of here. I'm going to wrap it around here too. Again, I want to do this with copper wire. Now, obviously you don't have to do this. You can choose just one version of what you're going to use. I, however, change my armies when I play games frequently. So, odds of this guy being in an army multiple times, well, I'm probably going to have to buy 2 or 3 more of these anyway. But I'm probably going to play with each model. And then you pop this in here like this, and that in there like that. I will probably go ahead and make myself another platform after I paint out of something, just because I know me. I'm not going to be happy with putting this model on here and just letting it hang freely. Of course, that piece is going to be glued, so that might make a difference. And as usual, you need more hands than you have. It goes there like that. And then this piece can come around underneath. Maybe. If I have my tweezers that I can't find because somebody used them, this would be a lot easier. I'm going to turn this a second so I can see what I'm doing. Hold this down so it hooks. Put that in there. Yeah, on this one you're definitely going to need to glue those guys down. But that's the basic idea, or you're going to have to find a way to weight them down. For now, I'm just going to stick the hobby knife in there so you can get an idea. And the hobby knife's not even heavy enough. But that little chain holds the plague bell, or the plague portion of the catapult, forward. Without it, it's just going to hang low and it's not going to have the same kind of dynamic effect. So if you want to make your models interchangeable, there is another option that I didn't think of that I kind of don't like, and that involves gluing these 2 pieces here. So you take this piece and you glue it to this side, and you take this piece and glue it to this side. The problem I have with that is, for each model, when they go in, they're at a different pitch. So this model might hang like this, and this model might hang like that, which you really can't see. So let's start that over. So this model might hang at this pitch, and this model might hang at that pitch. So see how the 2 points wouldn't line up? So making them interchangeable would probably be a little bit more difficult. While if you do that, and you find a way, you take magnets. Like, let's say you take this piece and you put it in here, and you put the other piece here where it belongs, and you glue magnets on there for the bell and the catapult piece. And then you go to a jewelry store and nip off, say, this piece of chain here and put a magnet on it, and nip off this piece of chain here and get another magnet, put a magnet on it and attach it to said portion of bell here, or said portion of catapult here. You can get the same look and effect with magnets. I will probably in time end up doing that, because I'm pretty sure these are going to break. It's just the nature of things. They are notoriously good for breaking. maybe next week I will take the time to paint this up, and maybe by then you'll see whether or not I change my mind and magnetize stuff. But there we go. It's in there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put together this version so you can see a finished version, because that's the version I got the wire on. And again, it is pretty important that you there's that. Oh, knock that down. Ta-da! Where's the little dude that goes in there? Here's the little dude that goes in there. There you go. That is a finished, well, go ahead and, I will put a magnet on this piece though. That is a finished plague furnace. And the plague bell is not much different. Go ahead and do that up right now. Oh, in case you're wondering what I did use to wrap around the chain, it's a piece of bread tie wire. Which, like I said before, I'm going to take a piece of copper wire and I'm actually going to weave it in and out of the chains, because in the long run I think that'll be a better make, and if the chain breaks all I got to do is glue it to the copper. Put little dude back on here. Uh-oh. Now, some of you diehard hobbyists might be like, well, that's just dumb. It might be just dumb, but I've got 3 kids. I can't afford, what is this model, 50 bucks? I can't afford 50 bucks times 12 to play this game. Yet. Yeah, I'll put you back on in a minute. Doing this from this side. There we go. And you're like, well, that's not really worth the effort. Well, I got news for you. It is worth the effort because it's done. And the ogre weighs a lot more, and if you take the time to do this, you've only got to do it once or twice. You got to learn how to take it off and on safely. Now, there is one more problem we're going to have to deal with. What are you hitting? And that is, that is, well, I got to finish gluing some of this stuff on here, but dude, what the hell? This wants to separate a lot, which that's not a terrible problem. I have made a thought of, well, what you got to be careful with is you have to be able to separate it in and out to switch the pieces. So my first idea was to take and cut one of these planks off of each and glue it across as a support brace bar. That'd be very ratty, and you'd still be using GW's parts for it. But I'm not sure that would work. Until I find a better answer, I'm probably just going to use a rubber band to hold it together while we play. I think that if I get some plastic sprue and cut some grooves in it, some of the bigger plastic sprue from like the Bane blades and stuff, I can drill a hole in it and make a little slot where I can tighten it with a screw and make it like a washer, and just do that, and then it'll still look very Skaven-y. Now the only thing that this model is missing, besides the paint job, is this piece, which I don't believe I'm going to put on. It goes over here somewhere. And I frankly think it looks better without it. It goes right. It doesn't even fit. Let's go on this side. It goes right there. But I don't like it. And it's my model. So if anybody else doesn't like the fact that I'm not putting it on, that's life. They can deal with it. It might stay there for a while until I can find my tweezers. Put this back in here so you can see the finished product. Maybe. There we go. Put this little cauldron in here. And you have Gray Seer on Bell. Probably going to have to glue some rocks on here. Ta-da! Now, it's really made to be one or the other, but with a little bit of difficulty and a little bit of frustration, you can have both models. Okay, this is Matt Lemke bringing you Figure Forge of the Plague Furnace and the Screaming Bell for the Skaven army in the Warhammer Fantasy game. Please visit us again. We're going to have some more videos up soon. Follow us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Excuse me. Leave your comments for us. We'd like to know what you think we're doing right, what we think we're doing wrong. We'd love to have some group discussions. Eventually we want to add forums and stuff. Let us know if we're doing a good job. That's most important right now. If you like us, +1 us, please. Thank you. Matt Lemke through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com.